Unit 7, Lesson 6, General Prisms and Cylinders and their Cross-Sections. The student outcomes for this lesson is that they understand the definitions of a general prism and a cylinder, as well as the distinction between a cross-section and a slice. So in the opening exercise here, we're asked to sketch a rectangular prism, which is also known as a box. So a lot of people like to equate this to a tissue box or a box that you would put maybe your shirt and tie for Christmas in. So try to draw a 3D picture of a box. And because it's right, we're going to have right angles down in the corners. So after you've drawn your prism, my question to you is this. Is a right rectangular prism hollow? Does it include the points inside? If your answer is yes, it is hollow. However, we're going to fill it up. We always fill boxes up, whether it's liquid, particles, paper, clothing, etc. So we'll be taking a look at that in future lessons. So in your study of right rectangular prisms in grade 6, Module 5, supposedly you've examined their properties, interpreted their volume, and studied slices. So let us take a moment to review how we precisely defined a right rectangular prism. If you take a look at the diagram in the lower left-hand corner here, we have the family of cylinders. Okay, so be familiar with how an oblique prism looks like, what a right prism looks like, the polygonal base of these two prisms, an oblique and a right triangular. We have a right general cylinder. Lateral edges are perpendicular to the base. We have a right circular cylinder. We have an oblique one. And we also have a general cylinder. So that's not going to have right angles. Be familiar with the properties that they have so that you can recognize them and be able to apply them. So here's some vocabulary you may already know or you may need to review. So a base, or a base face, are the two congruent parallel sides of a prism or cylinder. So take a look at the diagram as we go through the vocabulary here. You are going to have to be familiar with this vocabulary, be able to define it. So I would probably either take a picture of this and print it out, or cut this out and put this in your composition notebook. Or even transfer it. You can rewrite it and redraw it. We have something called an edge, which is a segment that is formed by the intersection of the two faces of the solid. Okay, so these are the edges. We have a vertex, a point where three or more edges of a solid intersect. Okay, so those are going to be the corners. We have a lateral face, the faces in a geometric solid that are not the bases. So that's going to be something on the outside here. We have something called the slice, a general intersection of a plane and a solid, and a cross-section when the slice is parallel to the base. So we're asked to sketch the cross-section for each of the following figures. So we're going to take the slice that's parallel to the base. So I'm essentially drawing a copy of the base. I have a pentagon face. So basically that's what I'm going to draw as the cross-section, to the best of my ability, of course. This is my base here. It looks like a fat L. And this looks like a foot. Well, my picture was kind of crappy. Let me see if I can do a better job. So we have another set of descriptions or definitions along with their pictures that you need to be familiar with. so I'm sure that you can study them on your own instead of me reading them off to you. But I would definitely transfer this to your composition book in some way, whether it is cutting it out or just transferring it. If you do transfer it by writing, it'll help you probably to retain the information and to study it. I would pay special attention to those terms where it says right. You're going to have right angles in there. Okay, and as you can see, there's a little right angle in there. A right prism, oblique means it's an odd shape. You don't have any right angles, but as you can see, you can get one on the outside. Okay, right cylinder, an oblique cylinder. So as you can see, the oblique ones are slanted. So in these exercises, let's fill in the blanks. Number 1, a general cylinder with a polygon base is called an oblique prism. A general cylinder with a circular base is called a cylinder. A general cylinder with lateral edges perpendicular to the base is called a right general cylinder, to be more specific. And a general cylinder with lateral edges not perpendicular to the base is called an oblique cylinder or an oblique prism. Either one will work, or either one fits this criteria. Is the figure given to the right a cylinder? Explain why or why not. The answer is no, because the bases are not parallel to each other. For each of the following cross-sections, sketch the figure from which the cross-section was taken. So I believe they are taken from prisms. So this is the best I can do. Not happy with that. Let's try that again. A little bit better. I'm going to leave it alone. So that's one prism. And there's my other prism. It's kind of wacky looking, but maybe I can try to fix these two. Yeah, that's the best I'm going to get it. It kind of works. Hopefully you did better than I did. If we were to rotate the pictured rectangular region around the provided axis, the result would be, okay, I've seen this on a region, so please take note of this. Okay, so if you have a rectangular region about an axis, you're going to end up with a right circular cylinder. So anytime a rectangular region is rotated around an axis, a cylinder will be formed. The width of the rectangle is the radius of the cylinder, and the length of the rectangle is the height of the cylinder. Make note of this.